Our students, Brian Proctor back again with another video. So this one is going to be a game changer, but first let me say hello to all the new people. Now, if you are new to my channel, if you just saw the thumbnail and say, oh, that looks tight, let me click onto it, or you read the title and clicked onto it, I'm Brian, that's my name, and I do all things comics. For people that want to do comics, maybe you were young and said, I want to do a comic book, or I had an idea for a comic character, and you didn't have anybody to help you with it, that's why I'm here. I do all things comic. I teach you guys how to write. I teach you how to draw. We work on anatomy, work on storytelling, pacing, the whole 9 yards. I got it. It's all on my channel, and it's free. It's free. You can't beat that. It's free. So a lot of people will write in and say, oh, can you teach me how to draw hands or how to draw feet or how to draw clothes? It's all there. All you have to do is go to my homepage on my YouTube channel, and it's all there. But today we're going to work on poses. Now, the last couple videos we were doing, I was working on character design, because a lot of people have, stories that they're working on, but they have to develop their characters. So I gave you some easy steps to developing or designing your character. So this one is going to be on posing. So once you have your character all developed, and you got to show them off. So you got to have that nice, pose to show the people. So this is the keys to dynamic posing, and this is going to be a good one. If you follow the steps that I'm showing you, you have it. You will have it. All right, so enough on the intro. Let's get to the drawing table. Okay, so before we get started with the lesson, let me show you these things. Now, almost daily, they see my video and they'll write in and they'll say, oh, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? Can you show me how to do this other thing? And it's basically all on my channel. The one thing that I do that's different from a lot of other channels is where they show you, or they say, show you how to draw this, or whatever the title is, teach you to draw this. And basically they show you how good they draw. They really don't show you how to draw. Now that's the difference between me and a lot of other channels. I am going to show you how to draw, and that's my goal, to show you, not to show off how good I can draw, but to show you how good you can draw. So this is just some of the stuff that I pulled out to show you before I got started. So I teach you anatomy. I break down anatomy. I just don't draw this nice picture. I break down anatomy and show you what is what and how to put it together to come up with a nice anatomy. So these are some of the little titles. I'll show you guys how to do the big strong guy. So I break down positions to do with what is this called? Foreshortening. I'll show you how to draw your favorite character. Your favorite character. Your favorite character. I'll show you how to draw the back. How to draw legs. How to draw arms. Fight scenes, more fight scenes. I'll show you how to take one pose and then tweak that pose and turn it into other poses. I think this turned out to be like 16 different poses. You have your two arms, you have your two legs here. You can crouch them, put them up on a rock. You can put one leg on a rock, one leg on a rock, one leg down. Shift the arms. So I teach all this stuff. All these are lessons on my site. Expressions, drawing faces, expressions, drawing the female anatomy, how to put weapons on your drawing and make it look a little cooler, creating not just heroes but evil guys, mad scientists, doing clothes, how to put clothes on a figure, how to do cartoons. Okay, I really didn't show anybody how to do cartoons yet. I did do one for children's books, but I just decided to show this since I had the papers. Yeah, so all this stuff is on my channel. All you have to do is go into the home page and then click on videos at the top of that, and where you see my intro, and then it opens this channel up to all of these videos and a lot more. I think it's over 200 and some videos on there. But the bad thing is, the more that I draw, the more they take off, because they will only allow you to put so many videos up at one time. So I'm losing a lot of the older videos that I showed on how to do like stick figures, take a stick figure and draw a person. So yeah, but if you write me, and even if you leave a comment, oh, that was good, that was bad, I will send you the link to the homepage where you go right in, and it'll show you all the videos. It'll bypass the intro and all of that, and it'll take you right into where all the videos are. So with that said, let's get started. All right, let's get started with the first pose. Now, I pre-drew these because I didn't want them to be stiff. And if you draw slow, you end up, your picture looks a little stiff. So I pre-drew these, and I'm going to show you, basically, I'm going to redraw it again and show you how to draw it and then ink this, because hopefully you can see that. But I'm going to show you the keys, because once you learn the steps, everything else is all basically the same. And I always use a red pencil because I'll start out with a red pencil, then I'll go over it if I need to with a darker pencil, and then I'll go over that again with an ink pen for the final drawing. So the red pencil is just basically rough for me, and then if I have a lot of lines with the red pencil, then I can come back with the regular pencil, and then when I do the finished drawing with the regular pencil, then I'll come back and ink it, because the pencil is the finished lines that I need. So, and then I like the red pencil because it kind of sticks to the paper. Like if you have an ink pen that you write with, but the ink is always wet and it kind of like smears on the paper. Yeah, it's kind of like that for pencil wise. So I use a red pencil, and some people ask me why. And this is basically your check pencil that your teacher uses. I can't think what it is, correction pencil. So that's all it is. So in drawing poses, one of the first things you have to do is you have to see basically in your head how you want your character to stand. So once you see that, you go with your perspective. Now your perspective is, well, let's say this, you can draw them from the front, you can draw them from the right side or the left side, or up or down. But basically, since you're drawing this position to show your character off, you want to show as much as your character as you can. Come on, camera, do the right thing. You want to show as much as your character as you can, so you don't want to do no twist or anything. So this is basic hero pose position without like crouching or twisting or flying or punching. So this is for you to do your character once you have your character, so that you can show off to people. So the first thing you want to do is I do the oval. Now, if you are new to this channel, one thing I do is I name a lot of my pieces. Like, let me show you this again. You know, this little piece, this is your waist, basically. And I call this the tuna can, because basically it's shaped just like a tuna can or a hockey puck. But I think I might have been eating tuna that day, and I thought about that. This is your hips right here, and it's basically shaped like an upside down house. You know, every kid, you know, when you first started drawing, you drew houses. So basically, I take every shape and I break it down to its basic shape that we or you can recognize, and then put them together, and then we just add a little tweaks to it to make it into the body. So if I start naming these things, go back and check out some of the old videos, or write in and ask, why did he name that? And somebody will write back and say, oh, he named that because of this. So whether you're going from the front, the side, or the other side, this line right here determines that. So if I'm going to the front, I'm going to put this center line right here, just like this. Center line is going to go all the way down, even up through his head. Now when I rotate him, instead of that center line being here, it's going to be over to the side. So that's all it is. So, and because this is a ball or an oval, it's not flat. It's going to be round. That's the main part that you're going to have to do. It's got to be round. So from there, I add this little tuna can thing, which I just come straight down. So if it's going to the side, this is going to come straight down off of the side. It's off the side of this, and this is going to come in, because this is like your waist here. So you want to do this, and then you want to come down further with your house. So if you want to come down like this, if you're coming off this ball and come straight down like this, well, this is more like an angle. The roof of that house should be, the point of that roof of that house should be right here. So you're not drawing the house straight on, and I'm going to call it a house instead of hips. If I do this and I put the line over here, let's make this a little darker. So the point is going to be, it's going to come down, and it's going to come down. The point is going to be here and here. You're going to keep that line the same. Now, this is the part that gets you. Perspective. Now, let's just say, here's your eye line. If you know anything about perspective, the straight line is going to be your eye line or your horizon. Come on now, don't do this to me. This is a new camera. I've been fighting with an old camera, so this thing does not like the clear white paper. So if it blurs for more than a minute, forgive me, because I'm not looking at my monitor. So this is going to be your eye line or your horizon. And let me keep a hand here so it'll focus on that hand. And then you have you're above your horizon or below it. Now, with that line, you're going to stand your character on this line, between this line, with this top line being your shoulder blades, and this bottom line representing where your feet are going to go. So you have to remember that. Now, whether you do center line here or the straight line, eye line at the bottom, and just do the top, and then I'm messing up this paper. I'll do it again. And then let's go all the way over. And then have your collarbone here and your feet here on the line here. That's, that determines, that's on you. That's how you're going to pose your character. So anything below that, you're not going to have anything below that. So, if this is your eye line, anything above that, you're looking at the bottom. Anything below that, you're looking at the top. So you want to figure out if you want your character how you want your character on one of these lines. So just kind of like practice that, and then do a rectangle. Put a rectangle on that thing. So if this is the center, if this is head is going to be here, and this is the center, if you put a belt on this person, that belt is going to follow that line, and anything else is going to follow these other lines. So like if this is this knee, this is one knee, and this is the other knee, it's going to follow that line. So you can't have one knee here and the other knee right across from it. It's a perspective thing. So let me get another piece of paper since I screwed that one up, and go through this. Hopefully this won't be a long video. I've tried to do 10-minute videos. Never works. I try to do 30-minute videos. Goes into 50. Okay, so once again, you want to have this oval, and instead of drawing it up and down, straight up and down, like this, straight up and down, I kind of tilt it a little bit because the hero chest always pokes out. You want to poke the chest out instead of just, being like, eh. So I angle that back instead of straight up. The more you angle it, the more he's going to poke out. Now this line comes straight down. This is a waist. You don't want to waist way fat like that. You want to come in like this. And I might go fast, but go back and look at it again. Sorry about that. Yeah, again. I don't know how long it was because I wasn't looking at the monitor. So you want to come down. So this is the curve. This is the center point right here. Come down. I'll look at the monitor every now and then. Go down. This is the top of your roof. So you come down again. Top of your roof. Like that. Like that. Now I could bring this back. I curve this back. This whole thing back a little bit more. But as I say, when I draw slow, it gets tight. So let's just go with this, what I have. Now, we're going to, since I have this like this, I don't know if you can see these lines that go this way and this way. I'm going to do that on here. So we're going to go like this. And let's say the feet are going to be down here. So because this is not straight, so I'm going to figure that the straight, because it'll go way off here and it will connect, that point will connect somewhere off here. So this is going to be, so let's say about right there will be your eye line. So, and that's very important. So this is going to be the collarbone. The collarbone is going to be right here, and I'll get more into detail for that, but this is for like these students that have been with me for a while and you kind of know what you're doing. So the next point is have your feet. How do you want to have your feet, your legs? You want to have your legs out, or you want to have them split apart? And I have different poses that I'll show you, and but we're going to work with this one for now. So when you try to do your feet, don't try to draw muscles, just draw that for now. Then you take the second foot, and remember your feet are going to end up on this line, somewhere on this line. So you're not going to have your one foot here and one foot down here. So we're going to have this one that's going to come like this. Pretty much like that. And the reason you're not trying to draw muscles right now, you're trying to get the form right. You're trying to get that balance right, that position right that you want your character to be in. So your collarbone is going to follow that line too. And then off of your collarbone, off of your collarbone, you're going to have your delts. And that delt is going to come into this shape here, this oval here, because it's turned to the side. If he was turned to the front, like this, here's your collarbone, your delts, or these circles are going to be outside of this here, your torso here, your rib cage. Thank you, skeletal cage. Same thing, rib cage. Now, once you turn, that ball comes into the shoulder or into that rib cage, like so. And then you have right here this line that goes up where it connects with this, you're going to have a V, the letter V. Just like you did the house, you have a letter V, and that's your neck. That's where your neck is going to come from. That is the base of your neck. So on the other side, you're going to have that other part of that delt, but because this ball is covering it, you're not going to see all of it. So let me do this. You have this, and then you have the chest. So let me curve the chest. And the next one, I'll give you a little more detail about doing the beetle, which is what I call the torso. But for those who already know what they're doing, they can follow, and then I'll show you a little bit more. So your chest is going to curve because, as I say, this whole thing is a ball. This whole thing is round, so your chest is going to curve and then go up, and because it connects with the delt here. And then you have your arm. How are you going to put the arm? So I put this arm down like this. So doing arms, and I showed people how to do arms in another video. Let's see if it's not going to blur on me. When you do arms, you need 3 shapes. You need a circle, you need an oval, and you need a triangle. Cut the triangle. Don't go all the way to the point. Cut it at the wrist. That's an arm. So all you have to do is that with that is just shape that up. Instead of having it go down like this, where's my good marker? I don't know, I'll find it later. So you want to follow this around, slope in, out, in, out. So you're going to cut off this little point here. So this is your arm right there, and then you have your hand here. So those 3 shapes make an arm. Very simple, very simple. They don't teach you this on the other videos. So this, and it's you got to have, depending on what angle. So if you want to figure out your angle, just do like you did with the legs. This, and I have a little bend in his arm, just a little bit of bend. So you have to also know, because you can have his arm way out and down, or up or down, or in or and around. That depends on you and, you know, the figure. So this, and then of course these are just straight lines, just like I'm doing a triangle. Except I just cut it at the wrist. So because the body is turned, you're not going to see this part of the circle and this part of the arm. So you're going to see some of the arm come out, and that's just what? An oval. And then you have your triangle here. And why I say the triangle for this part, because this part of the arm is more, I don't know, just flat or just straight, versus the bicep, which is kind of round. Them guns, boy, them guns. Yeah, so, yeah. And then I bring the fist in. And we're not going to worry about fists right now or hands right now. We're just trying to get the basic shape. Here we go. So that you guys can get that straight. Now with the neck, now you want to figure out how the head is going to be turned. So we'll just do this. I'm doing the head, I just do this. I keep on until I get the right shape. I mean, I could be like doing this like this. It's too small. I could be doing this, trying to just get my hand loose. That's too big, so I just kind of keep going until I get the right shape or the right size, because we're going to change the shape anyway. So then you figure out, once you get the right size, you figure out which way is his head. He could be looking at you like this way. He could be looking at you like that way. But since I've got him going this way, I'm going to go with that one. I mean, he could have the head turned just as good looking over here, like, yo, check me out, bro. Check me out. So once I find out how, or the direction that I have the head, I do a flat chin, just like this. And then up for the jawbone, and then up, and then curve around like that. And then the neck is going to come straight down off of this line. And then not so much off of this side, but off of this side. Because if you draw a head, and you give the person a little neck, that's a teenager. If you draw another head, and you give him a head that comes right off of the side of this oval, then that's more your powerful person. Like I said, bodybuilder, your power lifter, whatever. So what I do is I flatten out the chin, bring it up like this, and you're just doing this. That's all. I can't think of what letter that is. That could be a crazy looking Y, but anyway, you're doing that, and then you're following this around, having your chin come off, and then you put your ears on the side. So if I did this, this is a teenager, okay? This is just like your teenager, because he has a little neck. If I do this, and I made the chin pointy, like that, that's a female. The man's going to have a flat, wider chin. The female is going to have the pointy chin. I wish I could find my brand new marker. Let's see, this might be it. So I'm going to do this, pointy and up, and the chin, or the neck, like that. Then you have your female. So if I did like hair or whatever, that's a female. This, that's your guy right there. So if I give him a powerful neck, like to go straight down, he's got that powerful neck. If I bring that neck in a little bit more, he's a little less than powerful. So you want to keep that neck out for your characters, depending on the size of your character. If you're doing like the Hulk type character, then the neck comes even further. It comes out even further to give him that powerful neck. So, back again. From here, I would do the stomach, and that's just upside down. That's a mountain right here, and it's going to go down to the bottom of this circle. The circle comes around here, and it's going to come down here. And usually, this is something I teach sometimes I don't. Depends on how good you are at anatomy. When it hits this, it curves around and goes up to the corner of the chest like that. Same thing here, but you won't see it. And I'll ink this. And then your stomach comes in. Your stomach doesn't come down, it comes in, because here you have your obliques, which is your love handles, and it's shaped like that. You'll see more on this side because he's turned to the side and less on that side. So let me ink what I have so far. So you have this ball, you have this oval, and you have this triangle. You have this, so you can give him more lats or latissimus dorsi and then come into the waist. The chest is going to come off because this is a ball. Here you have this ball right here, and it's the same with women. So your chest is, or this is your ribs. Let's put it this way. This is your ribs. It's a solid surface. Your chest, once you develop your chest, it's going to blow up like a balloon. Let's just say that. So on the side, it's going to come off. It's going to come off of that rib cage right here, especially when you turn it more to the side. And then you have your rib cage that continues, and you have your lats that come down like that. And that's the same thing with women, except women will have more of the rounder breast shape like that. But it's still going to come off her ribs like that. And we'll get into that because the next video I'll do like the pose with women, female pose. All right, so what was I doing here? I said I was going to ink that. Now you're going to have some shoulder left over. Way out here, you want to bring your shoulder. Where this touches this ball, you want to bring your shoulder up. The more shoulder you have, the bigger the character is going to be. So this is just basically, as I said, it's a rough sketch. So for now, let me ink this, and I'll ink these. I'll probably just ink them off camera to save time and then put it back up, and I'll use that as a nice thumbnail. So we have this arm, which is just the circle. And if you know anything about delts, you know there's a point here. You have your tricep that comes behind this oval, goes there, your elbow's there, here's your bicep, and your bicep is a circle. Bicep comes like this, and there's your tricep here, and there's a third muscle here. So where this point is, there's a separation of your arm. You have that, just draw another piece here, and it gives you that more powerful arm. There's a little separation there. So here we have your lats, we come down, and then we have your obliques, your love handle. And the shape of that is this. It comes in and it goes down to the crotch because this is your leg. Your leg comes up here, and you notice there's more here. Then the more you turn, there's room right here. There's a little bit of room right there. The more you turn, the more your buttocks will show. So this is going to start your buttocks here, like that. I mean, it's not going to poof out like this, but you just get a little bit, and it runs into the legs. So this goes down to the crotch and then back up. I've got so many lines. It's another reason why I end up changing pencils. So I'm just going to add all these lines so that you can kind of follow. You go like this here. So here's your chest. I'm going to come down. This is a ball, so this actually goes like this. It kind of goes into the chest, and then you have this. Your chest comes out, up. The other part, like I said, comes off of this. This is your rib cage. So it comes off, and it curves back in. You have this, and already that's crooked because I wasn't really paying attention to my lines. And then you have just a part of that shoulder that you see right there, or that delt. And then you have your shoulders, which are your traps. Somebody got on me about that because I just kept calling it shoulders. And I said, I know and you know, but the other people don't know what it's called, so it's just easy to call shoulders. So wherever you have this dip, that starts your neck. That's where your neck comes from, right up into this point here. And then you go up, and then you start your head. So as I said, you've got your rib cage here. This comes down, and your obliques come in. And since it's twisted, you're not going to see so much. And it goes to the crotch. and then your leg. Well, I think this is, you won't really see any buttocks. It'll be right there. But so let's just say your leg is going to come here. You have to leave space because your legs fit up in here and it goes down and it curves out like that. So let's do this. Well, let's continue with this. And the other one, I'm going to go a little more quicker, but I'm going to show you a little more detail. So your stomach, I always draw this little V right here, and it goes down here, and then it goes in because, as I say, your oblique muscles are like right there. So this comes here, and then you can bring this to this point, and then you do this. It's like a fang. It's like a tiger fang or a lion fang. And then you can do this, and those are your ribs. I don't tend to draw my ribs because you don't need to. You don't really need to. You can, you don't have to, but you know, yeah. So whenever I do the stomach, and this is one thing, instead of having the stomach come down, straight down, I suck the stomach in like this. I suck it in and then bring it back out. And that gives them that, you know, oh, I've been, you know, doing those crunches all week type of thing. So you don't have to put this, you don't have to do this. You could just suck it in and come straight down. But since I started, I'm just going to finish that. And then it's here too, like that. So, okay. Other side, so you won't see that, and this is always going to come to a point, and this is going to separate. This is going to separate. That muscle is going to separate that, and here's that. And then put your fist here, put your fist here, like that. So you have the top part. You have your little part of the buttocks, and then the leg comes down. That's pretty simple. Now, I'll break it down even more when I do the next one. So for your legs, this is going to be kind of hard for a lot of people, and I do have a video on legs. I think I showed you that. Well, I showed you the female legs, but I have one on the male legs because there's a separation right here, and it comes down. Your knee is going to be right here, and draw your knee like a diamond, okay? Because at the top of this diamond, you have two muscles, and I don't know the name of those muscles right now. That comes up like this and like that. So basically, they fit right over top of your knee. This side of the skin right here comes close, and actually it goes down because this is your bone right here. But I'll get to that. This one comes. This is more on the inside because it's turning. You have this, and then you have your calf come like this, like that. So this is going to suck in like that, and then you have your calf, inside calf like this. So let me draw this. So it's going to come down like this, in, out. You have your knee, you have your muscles. And as I said, I don't really draw all the leg muscles because it gets confusing when you are turning your figure around. So this here, this is that little big separation. You have that, a little bit here, in there. And it's like your shin bone right here. This is what you hit every time you run into something. And then your foot. Usually when I do a foot, I'll just curve it like this. And then depending on the direction of the foot, this is going to be flat. This is the inside. This is your ankle. And the inside is higher than your outside ankle. So it's going to be like this. And then you just kind of like, you're making a diamond. You're kind of like doing this, half a diamond really. Half a triangle, not a diamond, Brian. Like that. And then wherever you can put that point in there or round it off, whichever one you choose to do. So you won't have the leg way out here because this leg is big. It's going to be behind this other part of the leg. So remember, because you have this, you have to follow these lines. You have to, and it's basically going to go like this. Good, I'm still watching. You have the center, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have that, this. And these are just invisible lines that you do. And as I say, you put your character however. Let's say like this. Here's a leg, here's the other leg, like that. So if the knee was here, it has to be on that same line. It's like if this is the heel of one foot, right here, the heel of the other foot has to be on that line, and you keep your character in perspective. It's like if I do an arm here, here's his fist. I do an arm here, here's his fist. The fist has to be on that same line. Same way the elbow. If the elbow is here, the elbow has to be on that same line. So you keep it balanced. Okay, so now let's do this. So remember, so the knee is about right here. So we're gonna put the knee here. So this has got to be about like this. And the knee, calf, and then so like that. And this, when you turn to the side, it sucks in. This like the way this sucked in like that, this does the same thing. And it depends on how much you turn. You may see just a little bit of calf. Just a little bit of calf. and then you put your foot, however you choose to put your foot. Like that. So inking this, coming down, comes in close to the knee, your calf, your ankle. I usually don't do ankles because most of my stuff is covered up. Your knee is not going to be in the center. Your knee is going to be out here, like that. So this is your shin bone, and this is a little bit of the calf that you see. And then, of course, your foot, however you want to choose to put your foot. And then this same thing here. And remember, there's a muscle that comes here that centers up here. So this, how is this? This is like this, and it comes around and it goes up. But please don't start doing a lot of leg muscles until you get it right, because it's just once you the inner muscles are just weird. And so I just do a very little front muscle, and then of course you have some calf muscle there. So, and then the head, let's go back with the head. So we have this neck, we're gonna go straight down, curve in, chin, and see how I made that out too far. So I'm gonna check that and do this. And then there's your direction of your face, the direction of your neck, it all comes all the way down here. And one thing when you're doing legs, you have to remember where your center part of your leg is, and that way it follows your foot and you know where to put your foot at. So basically that's that. This is just kind of not as leaning as that because this was a slow drawing. As I said, always draw loose, draw loose like this. You know, you're not doing your final lines with just say this red pencil. And then once you get it straight, then come back with another pencil and then say, okay, yeah, I got that. These are the lines that I want to use right here. This is a light pencil. Let's use this pen. See, these are the lines I want to use right here. And then you can straighten it out a little bit more if you want to. So yeah, but using those steps, you have this. So let me show you the other one, and I'll show you a little bit more about the beetle. Once you get the beetle straight, and the beetle, well, this guy, maximum file size reached on my camera, so but it's still rolling. Now, it's all the same thing. What I showed you basically is going to be the same thing. You still have your lines, and it depends. You can have a flat line here, and I think one of them I did have a flat line and that. So let's do this guy right here. Same thing. Start out with your torso. A lot of people start out with your head. You can do a big head, and then your feet will run off the page. So always do your rough torso kind of near the top. Depending on how far back he wants to go, this is round. So, I mean, it's round. It's round just like that. Can you see that? No, you can't. I don't want to really mess up this paper by doing too much demonstration. So it's round, and then it's going to be round because it's a ball. All right, so keep going down. This is going to curve and kind of like drop down depending on the angle of the person. So I said I was going to show you this. So let me do this again. Let me do this because it's going to blur on me. Every time I flip the paper over, it just doesn't really have anything to focus on. So again, when you're doing the torso, like that, and let me show you a flat because that would be a lot easier for you guys to start out with. Torso, egg shape or oval. Usually, you know, you want to have more at the top than at the bottom because you want to give them big shoulders, but I'll just round it off anyway. Center line, you have your collarbone that runs across here, and I'm looking at something for example. Halfway down this and this, let's say a little less than halfway down, you want to do another like that. So you just drew a T. This is a T. That's it, the letter T or a cross, leaving space up here. Going halfway down, you're doing another that. You can almost say I'm doing an F, you know, a double-sided F like that. So just below that, you want to do a U or the mountain. Like that. And this is the torso. These are the lines that if you use these all the time, you'll never, ever, ever, ever go wrong doing the torso. So, and I mean ever. So at this point here and this point there, where this line comes in contact with this, you have this circle, boop, boop, right there. And then when this line comes into contact with that, I'm not going to do that stupid sound effect again. You draw a line. You can either draw a line straight up and down, or you can curve it in like that. Same thing here. Where this line comes in, to this, connect that. And what that is, because this whole thing is round, what that is, at this point, at these points right here where they connect, this is your chest right here. Your chest curves here, and this is where it's going to curve up at this point, because your delt is going to be right here, or that part of your arm is going to be right here, and it's shaped like this. And then this is your arm, and it turns right here. So you have this, it curves up. This is your abs, you have this, and then your abs go in here. All right, I call that the beetle because when I drew it first time, it reminded me of a beetle. So right here at the neck, at this point where I said there's a little dip in your collarbone, you draw that V to the top of this line here, the V, and then after it comes out of this line, it goes up just a little, and your head sits on top of that. You get this right, and I guarantee you, money back guarantee, that you will never have problems drawing the torso, no matter how you turn it. So let me prove that point right. So we have this, then we have that T, okay? Now that's leaving some of this shoulder, all right? Below this, that line again, don't take this off, because this goes off because your collar, your delts go here. So then from there, you have that little mountain. And because this is off-centered, it's not going to be the perfect mountain. Since, as I said, it's off-centered. The more off-centered it is, the more less you're going to have on this side. You have to practice that. And then at this point to this point, it goes up like that. And this is where your chest curves and goes into your delt. Same thing here, but see, as I say, once you turn it, the chest is going to come here and off of that rib cage. A little, depends on how big the chest is. And it's going to go in there, and then you have what's left of the delt. So let's continue this drawing. Once you get this, now you can bring this down. At this point, you can bring your waist down. At this point, I would take it out just a little bit more, because this is your lost it. Cut. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is your obliques. Got it back again. All right, so now let's go ahead and rush this thing. So going down, this is the tuna can here. This is, you don't want a low waist. Continuing down, you want your upside down house. You can bring it straight down, or you can bring it out a little bit. It depends on how you draw your style. And then these legs are out more. So, and you can bring your legs way out, as far as you want out. It's, but that's more for action poses. This is more kind of like striking a pose, like, the hero busts through the door and he stands right there and you're like, yeah, it's the hero. So, as I said, don't try to draw the muscles yet. Figure out how you want the legs. And then again, once you find that bottom, you're going to do this. Now see, this one was going down, so I'm going to readjust all of that. So this is going to go down, and this one's going to go up like that. So I'm going to readjust that. So I'm going to put the foot here just for the sake of it, because I have the other foot here. So the other foot is going to go on this line somewhere. So depending on how far I split this leg, I'll bring it down and stop the ankle right about right there. And then my foot is going to go here. And that might be too far out, so I can always adjust that to bring that. So this collarbone is here. And the reason this line is tilted is because it's above your eye line. So basically, if you're standing, I would say you have to find your center point about right here. So this is your head right here. So if you're standing here, this is you right here looking at this guy. You're looking right at his crotch and you're looking up because, yeah, he's just, big burly kind of superhero. You're like, why, my goodness, look at this guy, and you're looking up. So yeah, so this is where the camera is right here. So you have that up shot kind of shot. So the same thing, this can't be straight. This has to angle down. This has to angle, and this has to angle as well. So where were we? I still want to bring that in. Okay, so the arm, remember, ball, oval, and this is going to be more the cylinder. And the way you do this is, I showed this in my on one lesson. Those orange cones, if you're a driver, and you'll know these orange cones that sit out in the road that tells you can't go here, are like that. So if you looked at the top of this orange cone looking down, it would look like this. You'd have the small opening, the base, and a square around it like that. this is what we're going to work with right here. All this. This is your arm without your hand pointing at you. I don't really have anything right now. I'm going to show you. So you're looking right here. This is where you're looking, right at the center. Now, if you drop your eye line down to look right here, this is going to look, it's going to look like this. You're still going to have the circle, but this point is going to move down like that. So you're going to have more up here than you have down here. So that's the same way that this arm is kind of twisted. So this arm is going to be like this. You're going to have this part, you're going to have this part here, and this part here. So it's going to look like this. It's just a cylinder or a triangle shifted down. So as I say, if I shifted this, put this part up, if they're pointed at me, like this guy has if this was his hand and this was a gun in his hand, like that, and he pointed it up at me, I would give him my money and run. No, if he pointed up at me, it would be like this. This little circle right here would be right here. And his hand would be right here. And the gun would be right here pointing at me. So hopefully you can understand that. If you've been a student of mine for a minute, you understand it. If you're not, if this is your first time, go to my main page. Check it out. So, okay, as I say, oval. And then this is going to be that. It's going to be almost like a triangle, like we say. You're just going to cut it here and then put the fist here. However, I had his fist like that. So because this is twisted and it could have been twisted more, you're going to see just part of this. He's got his arm. This arm is going back like that and coming out. So you're just going to see this part and then the fist right there. As I say, when I draw slow, it gets stiff. Oh, how long was that happening? Stop. All right. Again. This cylinder or this triangle, and then his arm is back, and then like that. So, and in the head, of course, we have the collarbone here, the delt, and that V to the top of that collar or the top of that circle brings your neck, and then this guy is looking at you this direction. Find that right shape, bring that neck in, then the shoulder, the way I have it here, and the shoulders here, bring that shoulder out a little bit more. Bring it out to that point. Same thing here, bring that shoulder out. And I'll ink this to make this a little better. So again, you have this middle piece here. Where is, let me get my dummy here so I can actually kind of show you guys a little bit better how stuff goes. And every time I put this up, people say, where did you get that? I think this is like, it might be like $90 some now, but it's either 120 or $90 some on Amazon, and I'll put the link up because I know people always want to know where they got this from. So you have your collarbone right here, So the more up this turns, the less shoulders. You see the shoulders right here? If it's like aiming right at the camera, you see all the shoulder. Now, the more up it goes, the less shoulders you see, but you still see the top of that collarbone. So the same thing, if you're standing here and you're looking up at a twist, then you're going to see less collarbone or less shoulder here and more shoulder here. This is the circle, this is that oval, and this is that, what did I say it was? Triangle. Chopped it off. As I say, if it points at you, I don't know if I can take this hand off. I could probably take the hand off, but this thing is hard and I don't want to bust it because I have never taken the hand off before. Oh, is it coming off or is it just tearing up? Anyway, I think it's tearing up. The hand doesn't want to come off, so I'll put it back on. As I say, this thing, for me, it was like $120. It was up there in price. So you look at this as a cylinder, right? Turning like this, the more it points at you, the more the circle, which you can't see, aims at you, and you have that cone effect. So that's basically like that. You know, if you can afford it, I would say get one because it's worth the money. It's really good, but this bad boy, he gotten old and dirty, and it tore somewhere. Then I can't remember where it tore. And every time I set it down, it gets black and dirty. So, and I try to wash it, but it just won't wash off. But that's okay because most times it sits on my shelf, and I only pull it off for something like really, really hard because, you know, it's got good back muscles. It's got good leg muscles. you know, just it's good reference, and it does have a good, you know, range of motion. So yeah, but the joints, sometimes the joints get locked up and you can't really, you have to keep twisting it till it unlocks. But yeah, this is not a review, this is a drawing lesson. So, oh, what was I saying? This muscle right here, this muscle that comes down right here. Well, actually, it's this one here. It comes in because it's just part of this little drop of water right here. As I say, the knee is more of a diamond, and these two muscles kind of shape out that leg. So following that leg straight down the center, it's going to come. You have to, I do the oval first, and I get it kind of like as long as I need it, as far as I need it. Then throw the knee on the end, and then come in and back out. So right at the edge of this knee, you have this, it curves in. It's your shin bone. And then you have your calf, like that. Same thing over here. And as I said, I don't usually just keep drawing because this would be a little long, really, because the knee should be up here. Another thing I always say is before you ink something, like I drew this, before I inked it, I would walk away from it. Walk away, go have a sandwich or watch a little anime or something, and then come back, and then I'll see my mistakes. I say, oh, this is too long. Like I can say that this arm is like lower. If I wanted to be, you know, all picky, you know, this hand is shorter than that hand, and you know, this knee might be off. But once if you stare at it so much, you say, oh, it looks good, looks good. But the next day when you look at some drawings, you're like, what happened there? And you inked it. So don't ink it. Get to the point where you're ready to ink, and then walk away. So what was I saying? Okay, this leg, I'm gonna keep it that distance. I'm gonna keep it that distance here, and then we have this. So the crotch here, this is the center crotch, goes up. Remember the legs come up and it actually goes down like this. This is your shape of your leg here. So the same thing with this, it goes up into that oblique. The leg comes in. So remembering your perspective, the bottom is here, your knee is here, and your knee is not going to be in the center. Remember, it's going to be pointed out more. And then you come in and you have your calf. This part curves in. Stop it right about here. You may see a little calf, you may not, and then your foot, however. And his legs are spread, you know, further than this guy. So this is called a quick drawing. Not really a rough drawing. Stiff. Okay, so let me ink this. We have the delt. The collarbone comes up and it goes into that, and your delt goes into that point and comes around, and it actually covers the chest because this is round like this. It goes in, and then your chest comes out like that. So it's going to have this indentation right here. So like that, you have your arm. Your bicep is at this point right there. This is your bicep. Your tricep comes behind this point of your delt, like here. It's going to be up here somewhere, curve in and then down. As I say, it's going to come in like this, and it's going to be another muscle that comes around. At this center point, remember, you're going to separate your forearm, not all the way, but you know, like that. And then you have this point here, wherever he has his hand, however he wants to put his hand. So we have this, you can use this for the delt. You can make that shorter or wider and then bring down. And then you don't have to do this all the time. I showed somebody about this, and he started making big obliques or big love handles. And I kept telling him, your obliques are too big. And I was teaching him online, and I do that. If people really want to learn something, that I give you my email and you show me a couple of your pictures, and then I'll show you, you know, how to tweak it, how to make it a little better, or what you should or should not do. But this guy kept making these big obliques like this, and I kept telling him, it's too big, it's too big. And I guess maybe he got mad, or he either got it right and didn't contact me ever again, or he got mad and didn't contact me ever again. But I did what I had to do. So we have this and we have this. Remember, it's going down too. So we have the shoulder, we have your neck. We have the head here. I'll say like this. And we're going to have this coming off here and going into that shoulder right at this point. And you have your delt. Yeah, at that point here, at the end of that, you have your chest. Comes up. The other chest turns right there. You have this. I usually do a little M right there just because that's just me. Come and you go in. Come and you go in. And it goes down because it doesn't go straight down. I think I said that. I'll suck this in and then come out like that. Your oblique is like this. Go down here. It's part of the buttocks, the legs, like this, the knee, like that, like that. I'm doing this quick because I know my video is past 30 minutes. Knee fits in there. This comes here, and this, and then that, and then however you put your foot. And the whole purpose is the foot is kind of way out, like he's slipping a little bit. So you have your rib cage right here. This you maybe see some arm depending on how big this is, and then with the arm goes back, and then you'll see this. Yeah, like that. So it's just a rough sketch of that, but what was I gonna say? And just this and say like that. That's just me, you know. And I said you can do the fang and you can do the ribs there, because this is your lats right here. This is where your lats come even further. All right, for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you these two, and I'm going to kind of meet in the middle, just showing you the key point to drawing your figure. I mean, once you get this, you're good to go. So there was a big cut in this because I actually drew this other figure, this character I was showing you, and I realized I had him going the wrong direction. So yeah. So as I said before, the key part is, number one, you get your torso. Let me put these together because I want to kind of focus on this, because this has like that anime stand, because anime always has those legs sucked in like that. So the key point is, here is your torso. You got that. You got the size of it. You have the curve, and you're coming down. Let's draw the thing. So what we're going to do is want to do this and this. No, we're going to do this. This is how I screwed it up last time. Depending on what direction your character is facing determines your lines. And this is what I did the last time. I had the lines going the wrong way. The perspective lines going the wrong way. So we have this, and then we're going to do the chest. The collarbone is going to come down here. The chest is going to come at that angle because you have this. Let's just say it is. So somewhere around in here, I think it will be your center line, or maybe higher, because anything over this is starts to go up just slightly. So probably right in here is that center line. So we have this. We have your chest. You have the mountain. We have the point where the point is, and the top of the collarbone, like that. So once you get that, you're good to go. God, how many times is this thing going to do that? So let me do this again. You have this. You have your center line, which way he's facing. You have your collarbone. Of course, collarbone is going to come off. You have your chest right here, same angle. Then you have your mountain right here. This point, you go up. Collarbone. Your delt is going to come off, and your delt is going to go behind that right there. Now this is going to be a little smaller, but that's fine. So it's going to be like this curve, almost like he's curving in. That body's going to curve in. At this point right here, come straight down. This is going to be the waist. And somewhere past here is going to be the waist, because your stomach's going to come in here. So you're going to have your waist here. And that's that little tuna can. This is all this is, that. Just this can, and the thing sits on top of that. Your torso sits on top of that. So we're going to come down, again, straight down. Point at the top of your house. And then the side. So this is where it differs. So the manga, they usually try to curve that leg like this. And then the other one, they try to kind of like curve it in as well. You have to play with it to get it right, because if you don't get it right, it'll like come to bite you. So it's kind of like this curve like that. Kind of like that, coming around and then curving down. So the more you tilt this back, the more you have to bring your head forward. So you have to, this right here is your neck, going on top of that. So since there's so many lines, let me find a pencil. So we have this. right here. We have the center line. We have the V for your neck, and where that neck comes at this point, in this point, it goes up. So you have to figure out how you're going to, and usually the head is a little tilted because this is going so far back. If you have the head back here, it looks like he's leaning back. So you have to bring the head forward and tilt it just a little bit. It just gives it that better, it gives it a more of a balance. So again, circle, oval, and then triangle. And how are you going to put the arms? That's the big thing. And this arm is lower. Since this is going back, this is going low. He doesn't have it up like, you know, he's ready to fight. It's just kind of like low, like he's calming down. And then the hand is going to be right here. Like that in his hand. Draw a hand, Brian. This pencil is not sharp anymore. Let me sharpen it. All right, just rolling away for a second. I can see that the chest is a little low. Curve that chest, curve it up at that point, and then comes off of that just a little bit. Depends on the size of the chest. How much will it come off of that bone right here? So we have that now. The whole thing is, again, let's just say he's around here. So we're going to have this leg here, part of the leg here, and then the knee is going to be facing you, so it's going to be in the center. And then you're going to have this, but it's going to keep that curve. And then this is the hard one right here, because if you get the curve right, it looks good. If you don't, it just kind of looks like a basic stand. So you have this, and remember, we got this whole thing here. So the knee is going to be here. And then you won't see any of the calf, the other side of the calf. You're just going to see this bone. It's going to be like this, and then it comes in. So that knee is going to be right here. It's not going to be in the center. It's going to be here, and then the knee is going to be here on the side, and then you're going to see that bone curve in like that. And then you can have this kind of come up into the character, and then it can go back. And see, this is when you start being stiff, because I would have it come all the way back and then up. But since I have it like this, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to put more curve here. And let's see if I can get just a little bit more curve there, just because I don't want to go too crazy, because I already have it and I don't want you guys erasing too much. So you're going to come up and just give a little more curve going back, which means I have to give it more curve going that way. So as I say, I don't want to change it too much. And then again, less delt. Bring that shoulder out. And then that hand comes down, which is, this one's too short. Circle, oval, and then, yeah, this one's too short. And let's give this one a curve too, because this is what they do in manga. They love to over exaggerate with the curves. Like that. So then I put my hand here. So again, we have your oval and then your triangle. Triangle, yeah, triangle. And just round that out. So if I'd have curved it back more, I want to do something else with that head. And then we have this knee. Following that line. And the foot. Like that. Bring that down. So that foot is going to be, no, there it is. See, you have to have, so, and I'll try to get this in words before I say it so that you won't mess up like I keep messing up. The foot. Now, if you see more of the, what is that? That would be the left side. Then the point has to come from the opposite side. Whatever you see the most, it's like this. Here's your point where everything comes together. So here's your character here. So if you see more of this side, if the line is closer to that point, you're going to see more of this side, and vice versa. So if you point this way and you do your character however you stand them. And what this, yeah, this side, that point, your line is going to go toward that point, if you understand that. Because yeah, like I said, I did this, I was working on this, and when I got to this foot here, I was like, wait a minute, why is that foot off? I mean, it was off, but I wasn't really seeing it until I got to the foot. And I'm like, oh, because you had your lines going the wrong way. It should have been going this way. Because, yeah, the center line is pointing more this side, so it should have went that way. So let that be the lesson. Whichever way your center line goes closest to, that's where your point comes from. So as I say, just like I did this one, I did this one quickly, so I got more of a curve, where I did this one slowly to show you guys, so it's less of a curve. And even with the legs, you could have put more, I could have put more of a curve to it. But the point is, we're showing you the most important part. The most important part is get that torso right, find that line, and then put it on in that perspective. I mean, if you want to just draw a straight character, then you don't need that. If you just want to draw a guy that's just straight, you don't need that. Just draw center. But for a nice little pose, you want to basically kind of turn them a little bit. You know, you can move the arms up a little bit to, you know, show that kind of power, or just, you know, just have them, you know, just kind of like that. And this foot was hard because if you draw let's just say this, a foot, if you draw 2 feet, here's your legs right here. Chop it off right there. The inside comes straight down, the outside goes out like that. This is just a basic quick way to draw feet. The more you turn that foot, the more this is going to go. It's like a wedge, like a slice of cake, like that. And just bring that up like that. So the more you turn it, then you will have that little heel that comes up. And instead of having it flat, so we know that the big toe sticks out the most, so you can either curve it or just put a point in the center, which is a lot of times people do. Kind of point it out, make a little point in front of the foot, and then you go up like that. And that's just a kind of quick way to do a foot. I'm gonna just do it with my pins. I always throw them everywhere. So it's gonna be like, remember, your inner ankle is higher than your outer, so it kind of gives you like that kind of angle. Then it curves around, you have your heel, and then like that. Same thing, inner is higher. Then you have your heel, curves around, kind of like that. And that's a quick way to do feet. But I don't really do the ankle. Now with the top of the feet, I'll either do this, or I will do this little line right here. So yeah, just, it's a wedge. That's all it is, just this little wedge turned in and out. They don't teach you that on those other channels. Okay, so let's quickly do this real quick. Let me get this head, because I want this head more of a dynamic. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And I'm going to tilt it. And he's going to be looking. How's he going to be looking? He's going to be looking at you like, what? Did you say something, bro? So again, and this is going to be a quick ink. So if I screw up, that's because I was kind of rushing. So his eyes going to be like there, and nose. The neck, collarbone, right here, that little dip in the collarbone. This is not going to go very far. This is where your chest is going to come out. This is your shoulder right here. This is the delt. This is the bone right here coming in. You have this coming in more. I'll give it some curve. This is coming around. Curve that. This is going to come in more because your delt, your collarbone comes right into the center of the top of that delt, and your delt actually goes around the back. So like that. Remember where that point is. It separates the bicep from the tricep. Tricep is like that. You have that right here at this point. You want to center that. You want to split that arm just a little bit, coming down like that. You have your fist like that. You have your, this point here. Like I said, I do this little M. Bring it around and in, bring this in and then down, bring this in, because this is this. What are you saying? Because you have to have some obliques on both sides. It can come all the way down like that to the crotch. So we have this point here, that, center leg, center knee, not what I'm talking about, center leg. That comes down. That is your foot. like that. So this other one is going to curve. It's going to curve in. I'm going to bring that in a little bit more. That knee, and then curve out. And then you have the foot. Like so. And yeah, that's your manga. They always throw that little curve, and then your hand, they throw more curve to it than necessary. So, as I say, to wrap it up, get this. These are your important lines right here. These are your important lines right there. Put your character, keep your character on your lines, and then if you do a belt or whatever else, it still has to follow that line. So if I put a belt on them, it has to kind of like follow that line too, at that angle. Boots, the same way. If I do boots and boots are here, it has to follow that angle, that line, like that. So they'll be even. And you know, whatever I put on, that's the same. Well, his arm is up, so it won't be like that. So yeah, and then you can just, once you get that, then you can start designing your character, make them look tight. Remembering that all this is round, and because you are looking down, so these lines are going up, up, up. So this would be your eye line right here, maybe your eye line. So remember, anything below that, you're looking down. This is why you're seeing the top of this tuna can. So the same thing here. If I did this, you're looking down into this, you're looking down into the boots. If I give them wristband, you're looking down into that as well. So it all depends on the angle of the character. I almost said the dangle. Yeah, I've been around with some stupid friends. So yeah, that's it. So right here, and then you just start dressing your character, make them tight. So yeah, I planned on this video to be a little more detailed, but time got away from me, and I don't want to make a two-sided detail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to ink these off camera, and then when I come back, you will see them, and they will be my thumbnails. And I never really looked at the camera, so hopefully it didn't blur while I was showing you those examples. So yeah, I'll be back in a second. And here we have the finished product. So let me apologize for my sloppy ink job. I was in a rush. I really have to be in a mood to ink, and I was just trying to rush this to get this thing out. So here we have your 4 positions. Practice these so that you can dress them and turn them into your character, and then show the world what you have. So before I go, let me say subscribe. I always forget to say subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment, and yeah, tell a friend, tell somebody, an artist friend or a friend that just likes you, whatever. Hey, check this guy's channel out. He's pretty good. So other than that, to you new subscribers or you new watchers, welcome. You know, send me a comment. I'll give you the link directly to my channel, and you can see what's in there. And to everybody else, keep drawing. You know, develop your skills a little bit more, so when we go back to work or school or wherever, you can show your friends your new skills. All right, that's it. Stay safe out there. Keep drawing. See you guys in the next lesson.